packaging supplier can look good on paper and quote you a very low price, and still that same supplier can be the main reason why your launch is delayed, your quality drops, or your shipment gets rejected. The mistake most brands make is they compare suppliers only on price. Don't get me wrong, prices are important in a business setting when making a decision on your supplier. You may be wondering, but Mike, if prices and costs aren't the only criteria I should base myself on when choosing a supplier, then what should I look for? And I'm glad you asked, because in this video, we're going to be talking about some red flags to avoid, which should be helping you understand when a supplier is good from A to Z, or if it's someone that's only competing on price and not on quality. Red flag number 1 is related to compliance and certifications. If a supplier cannot clearly show their quality system, this is a warning that you should take seriously. In many places, especially in the EU, the US, Australia, and in many other markets worldwide, there are strict criteria to meet and strict authorities that oversees the departments that make sure that the packaging, especially for food items, meet some stringent quality requirement. And we're talking about, for instance, the ISO 9001, the BRCGS certificates. You must make sure that the packaging you're buying, even though it is attractive in price, that it won't contaminate the food, it won't affect the buyers, and that you'll be able to prove to local authorities that it hits the quality requirements needed. So for this first red flag, what can be a quick solution or a quick fix? I would suggest to ask upfront your supplier what certifications they currently hold and whether they can share valid evidence proving that the certifications mentioned still valid and owned by their own company. Red flag number 2 relates to traceability. Poor traceability is definitely something you want to keep an eye out. A strong supplier definitely should be able to connect raw materials, production lots, and outgoing goods to a specific batch produced. Everything should be clearly labeled and categorized. A lot of issues and a lot of stuff can go wrong when there's a complaint, a struggle, a defect, or even a recall situation. You want to be able to act promptly, be able to recall the damaged batches without touching the batches that are not affected. And you can't do that without having full transparency and clarity on the batch traceability and the batch lot numbers. For this second red flag, ask whether the supplier can trace material and finished batches, and if so, what system is in place for the traceability. You want to see if it works for you, if it's detailed enough. Some suppliers may do it per unit, others may do it per batches of 1,000. Make sure to clarify that point before striking any deal. Red flag number 3 relates to unrealistic promises. If a supplier says something that sounds too good to be true, odds are it is. And most often than not, these promises will be tied to the quality, the lead time, the prices. If they're promising you a price that's way below market price, you want to keep an eye out on that. Even ask for samples. Make sure you're not getting quoted for the wrong item, the wrong quality, or something that's completely offside. For the lead times, if they're promising something outlandishly or unusually quick, you want to ask about a production plan, written specification, and approval process to make sure that they're not cutting corners to deliver faster, so on and so forth. Whatever the supplier promises, you want to get some written assurances. You just want to compare whether each supplier is quoting the exact same structure, exact same quantities, exact same dimensions, printing scope, exact same testing standards, exact same documentations. You want to make sure that your suppliers are being compared exactly for the same offer so that you have a full idea of which one's better for you. Last but not least, red flag number 4 relates to problem solving. It is always important to know upfront how your suppliers will deal with mistakes and wrong situation. In production and logistics, mistakes happen a lot. It's not about how to avoid them. It is definitely about how to minimize them through your own systems, especially by being upfront and having a discussion with your supplier about the processes in place in case, let's say, everything is produced according to the wrong specs, or maybe your shipment gets lost at sea, gets seized by customs, or maybe it gets damaged in transit. What would happen in these situations? You want to make sure that your supplier will not shy away from responsibility and will offer you compensation that you both agree on. It is definitely not advised to go with a supplier who would disappear or ghost you or refuse to, hear you out when something goes wrong. Keep in mind, the best buyers do not just ask who is the cheapest, who has the best price. Rather, they ask themselves, who can reliably produce my packaging? Who can match my right requirements? Who can meet the market requirements? Who can solve issues fast if needed? That's what you want to look for. You want to look for a long-term partner that takes responsibility and really helps you from A to Z, not just on getting the best price as quick as possible. So here's the big idea. The best packaging supplier is not the one that only gives you the best price. Even though the price does play a role, the best packaging supplier will be the one that can consistently make the right product, consistently give you the same quality, document and properly trace every batch and every load, as well as offers you the best certifications, ISO 9001 for instance, BRCGS certifications for instance, and of course, the best supplier is the one who takes accountability and responsibility when stuff go wrong. That's how you should be choosing your suppliers for the next run. And best believe we at FMCG Packaging will offer you all of the mentioned and more. So get in touch today to see our best prices and our top-notch quality for packaging.